Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Welcome back to Koontz. We're doing Koontz again. This is the last episode of Koontz.
Yep.
Koontz.
We're doing Odd Thomas selected by Paul.
Mm-hmm.
The oddest of Thomas.
This is so odd. Which, if you want a chance to pick one of our main attractions, just sign up for our mailing list at the website. Just look for Dracula. NOTLP.com.
He'll tell you where to go.
Dracula always knows where to go.
Yeah.
That's Kelley. If this is your first time, that's Kelley.
I'm wheezing the juice.
There's Andy.
So cute. Like Dracula's like and subscribe.
Blue. Andy's here.
Hi.
Right there. See? I proved it.
Hi. This is my Dracula saying hi.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was here for a second.
Yeah.
And that's Amy.
That's me.
And I'm Freddy. Now you know who we are. You probably already know. I don't know if we're like rapidly growing or anything. Who really knows? But Koontz.
Yeah. Our listenership, you mean rapidly growing?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Rapidly showing.
Who would know?
Who would know?
I mean, I don't look at that stuff.
We could know if we wanted to, but none of us care to.
But if this is your first episode, it's more of this, really.
Yeah.
I wanted to say we were recording Origins for Patreon, and we got to talking about celebrity nudes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Freddie had to get this on.
Yeah, we were just chatting.
We were
Like,
chatting.
hold that thought.
Hold on.
I wanted to
say something
gold.
funny.
Because
gold.
we were talking about looking stuff. But Amy Googled from her work computer the other day.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. I can't. Okay.
She put in her search.
Okay, we were doing the Zoom meetup that we have with the patrons every Thursday, and we were talking about the new Kids in the Hall series.
Oh, by the way, great. You guys were so right.
Isn't it great?
It every bit as good as the original, maybe even a little sharper, like a little more honed. It's fucking their Zoom fucking skit was
I watched that with my mother.
A fucking plus, man.
Oh, it's awesome.
It is laugh out loud rageous is what that
Inspired
is.
use of Melanie's I've got a birthday.
Also, before we move on, that was both hilarious-ish and super dark.
Yes.
Super dark. Really brilliant. And Dave Foley's face acting. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Guys, please watch it. Apparently, they want to do another season.
Those
so
60-year-olds
let's get that.
are great at what they're doing. Scott
Yeah.
Thompson also. All of them firing it on all cylinders, man. It's great.
Yeah. It's encouraging too.
Yeah, it is.
As we age.
Yeah.
It is. Their penises look pretty good.
Yeah.
So
And that brings us back full circle.
I was talking about that sketch on the meetup, and I was like, oh, let me see if I can find a picture of it, and I'll share it so everybody can see their penises.
Yeah.
So I type into Google, Kids in the Hall nude.
Oh,
And
did
then-
something else come
And then
up?
Google came and said, child pornography is illegal.
And I was like, marked.
Yeah, I told Amy, I was like, well, you did just search for nude kids.
I know. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't
It's
either.
my work
Who
computer.
would think of, and we had such a good laugh over that.
Such a good laugh. But
Such a
I'm
good
also
laugh
like
until
I,
they
a mild
please come
panic
knocking at your door.
Yeah, every time you hear a siren outside.
Do you think like they
You're
have
fine.
like this sketch has really fucked up an algorithm somewhere for
I hope not. I
protecting
want them
children?
to be able to protect children.
Maybe it has, and maybe it's done the opposite. Maybe it's like people have been looking for something and they just keep getting 60-year-old men's penises.
that would be the most ironic.
Wouldn't that be a great way
Yeah.
to frame that?
Yeah.
It's much more comforting than the other way around.
So were there any results?
No, I was so scared
That Amy didn't use a computer for the next 4 days.
She broke it with a hammer.
that I just like cleared my search
You put
history
it
and went on.
You put it in the. You turn it off and put it in the freezer.
I put it in rice.
Yep. Like, I hope this sucks out all the bad vibes that I just put into it.
So stupid, of course, but like, duh.
Well, I'm
and why would
glad-
I think
I
that?
get it. It's not stupid. We all would probably do
I'm
that.
glad that it's hard to find child pornography.
I mean, you can't just Google for it, which is,
I hope nobody messages you. Like, if you're looking for this, you got to.
I swear to God, I don't know. No.
That's okay. We believe you.
Are there any dark webbers out there?
Dark Webbers.
There
Dark
are.
Steven Weber. He's from the Multiverse of Madness. Wings is a drama there.
But what's funny is that
He's on a
version of
show.
The Shining that he's in is a comedy.
And it is funny.
Yeah.
It's it's great. It's like Airplane.
It's exactly like that.
It's like the Airplane 3 we never got, which in a different multiverse they got.
They did get.
That's the Airplane 3 multiverse. So we were just talking about patron stuff. If you're interested in doing that, I think we do some pretty fun stuff on there,
We had so much
including our meetups every week. But it's patreon.com/NOTLP. And then roulette is this week. Kelley has it. And
Yep.
and he is reviewing the Sadness.
Mm-hmm. I am.
I have to do it every time now.
And I don't think a lot of people know what that is even.
Well, I just made a Wings reference too, so I just kind of feel like the chances are that people figured out how old I am by
Yeah,
now.
If they know who Steven Weber is, then they know who.
This reminds me of Cardi B for some reason. I'll look it up. Why? Just give me a day. I'll get back to you. I was just trying to make a current reference. It's like when I have to make a current reference, research gets involved.
I wonder if Steven Weber's dick is on the line.
Oh yeah, find out.
I bet not.
I have been watching Wings.
Sleeve and Weber.
Have you been watching for it? See if it just pokes out.
Haven't seen
His
any dick
pants.
yet.
Keep looking.
Yet.
There's got to be some. Maybe him and Tim Daly have an episode where they accidentally touch the tips of their penises together.
You know,
just accidentally.
That's
and
my
the whole rest of the
that's my slash
episode
fiction.
is them trying to like come to terms with what happened, and then at the end they have to they're like, let's just do it and like hold it there.
Have you noticed they flirt with each other on the show?
I've never watched. Well,
As brothers.
As a
Okay,
person,
we're not talking about Wings. Come on, you
I have
guys.
not seen Wings. I didn't watch it really. I know I've seen an episode as a child here and there,
It's a delight.
It's pretty great.
but I'm going to tell you, I've basically never seen an episode of Wings.
You do like Cheers and Frasier? Just
Then you'll be on
You'll
Wings.
probably be on Wings.
Listen,
Same
young people listening.
Weirdly enough, Frasier is probably the one I like the best of those.
Yeah.
It's like to the young people, like, okay,
And it's only
you
so
rewatched Friends. This is not a far. It's not a far jump.
It's about
Go find
5
yourself
years.
some Wings.
I've been really enjoying it. And honestly, like, I don't know that I'd seen much of it.
It's the Barney Miller of the early 90s.
We don't have to continue.
Well, here's the thing. I watched it. I don't remember it because I was like 12 or 13 when
Well, then
watching
you
it.
need to fire Hulu up, don't you?
Put some coal
And
in the
by the
Hulu
way, there
oven.
is you can see his butt on the web
Oh,
and a passing glance of his dick.
okay.
passing glance,
Well, there you go. You get a passing glance.
like ships in the night.
Steven Weber's Ding Dong.
We'll
passing
take a look
glance.
at that later then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Tim Daly?
Oh, I'm sure he's out there.
Freddie and I the other night,
It's from the episode where they touch dicks.
Oh, it's that one.
watched the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, yeah. I thought about watching that. How was it?
It's very
okay.
much 100% fan service for people who are really big fans of the very first Ghostbusters.
Can I tell you
which I
what-
think you'll like?
Well, and I will. Here, you know what I realized? I realized that I've aged out or just... I think because it's the end times partially, and just because I'm getting older.
The current end times.
Yeah, it's the end times.
Yeah.
And I realized because I saw that advertised on my Amazon Fire, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably check that out. But then I had this thought. I was like, you know what? Like, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I like Paul Rudd. I like Ghostbusters, but I like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like, I like the movie Ghostbusters. And I've realized I don't need them anymore to explore the worlds of movies that I like and just continue to try and make more. I get why they do it. It's money and fans love it, but like,
And it could,
don't need them
they have
anymore.
potential to be great. The problem with this movie is, Kelley, I like when they explore new things.
I know you do. I don't think I do anymore. I think that when I like a movie, I mean, if it's great, if they do something accidentally great, great.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I no longer get excited for shit like that. I don't care anymore about, like, I know so many people were so psyched for this, and that's cool. I want you to be. I want you to find that joy. And I think I will probably enjoy this movie like I enjoy a good family comedy. And again, the fan service, I do love being pandered to. But I just had this realization where I was just like, I don't give a fuck about these franchises,
that's good.
man. I like Ghostbusters. And like, I thought of all the arguments online about the 2016 versus the 84. And I just was like, well, it's not even there. I like that movie. It's got nothing to do with the legacy of Ghosts. I just like those actors and those words from that script
at that age,
at that time.
Right.
And that's what I like.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about continuing the story or what happens later to later Ghostbusters.
Unless it's good.
If it's really good.
Yeah, this is not really good.
No.
I mean, it has to be like Blade Runner 2049 where I'm like, it's better than the original.
Well, that advanced the story. Did this advance the story at all?
Well, here's
Sort of, yeah.
Here's the issue, right? Okay.
It's just aggressively mediocre.
Well,
the first
Blade Runner 2049, it wasn't pandering. It had like references to the original, but it was its own thing.
It was totally a different story. Like,
well, right.
This, this is, original Ghostbusters comes out, and it's magic for a certain age group. Back in '84.
I'd say it's magic for most people.
Yeah, kids and parents and kids saw it together, and they both liked it for different reasons. The jokes were very specific, like them doing the ad for what's that?
I have no idea.
That's from your Google search.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, did the kids' dicks in the hall come up?
That's not what I typed.
So you see it when they do the joke where they're doing like the commercials we're used to seeing back in '84, for attorneys and plumbers and everything else,
right?
Or like call this number. That's funny. It's not, but then I think an unintended feeling that came out when that movie was this feeling of almost a Rocky type of moment when the Ghostbusters come back after the city tries to shut them down, and they're going and everyone's cheering for them in the street. That was like not comedy. That was something like Rocky. It was
That's a New York City movie.
It's a New York movie.
I barely listen to me, and I've said it 1,000 times. I know this episode is not about Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
but
it's a good topic.
Ghostbusters to me, it is a comedy, but it's not a whack. Like, I feel like people watch and they're like, it wasn't that funny. They just kind of talked and they were ghosts. That's what it was. Like, it's a funny movie about like it's a real movie. It's a Hollywood movie.
In comedies now, like that type of comedy, even though it has these huge effects and stuff in it, the 80s typical comedies we were seeing are what would be almost art house comedies now. Yeah. Where like you spend a lot of time with characters like with Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver and him hitting on her and the whole dynamic in her apartment complex with the weird neighbor. Like it's a dead tradition. So like when they make this new movie, what they do, it is literally Ghostbusters greatest hits.
Oh, all right.
Except for New York.
Yeah.
So it
takes place on a farm.
So it's the same beats as the original?
Literally, this in spoiler
is it
for
Ray's
anybody.
Farm?
Egon, I'm gonna
don't spoil anything.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I'm sorry, listeners.
Yeah,
I didn't realize what was happening. We're on the air.
Yeah.
Don't spoil anything.
You think anybody wants to see it? Has seen it?
Just don't.
Okay.
Spoil anything. It just came out.
I'm just gonna say that
3 years ago. I have no idea.
You know this from the trailers, probably. If you've seen a trailer,
it is
this
on a
is
farm,
not
obviously. Yeah.
It's on a farm, and it's Egon's farm. It's after Egon has died, and his daughter, estranged daughter, and her children moved to that farm.
Yeah, that's all in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they meet Paul Rudd's the summer school teacher, and they, through circumstance and together working on this thing.
Yeah.
It is very faithful to the vibe of the original movie.
Well, that's cool. It's a good vibe.
It is for parents who are big fans to introduce Ghostbusters to their kids.
Well,
that is exactly what it is.
If we want to introduce Ghostbusters to kids, just introduce them to Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just it is such a New York movie too. Like that to me is like one of the great New York movies.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it too. The library was such a big part, like the streets, all that stuff.
The crowds. I mean,
The
it's just, I
hotels,
mean,
yeah.
even just like I love Ghostbusters.
The hot dog stand.
The hot dog stand.
Slimer eating all
The
those
cabbie.
hot dogs.
We've seen the movie. You got to go through every scene.
Do you remember when there was the Marshmallow Man at the end?
You remember that one part?
Yeah, and there's little Marshmallow Men in this one, and it seemed very hack.
That sounds kind of hack.
It was kind of their minions.
I thought it was cute.
It was cute, and it did work in the context of being like, that's cute, and it works. But as a piece of
You're being
Ghostbusters,
very
Now the question
condescending
is,
right now.
you could have gone any other direction. You could have had a whole
bad
new.
bitch.
Why redo something when you have a palette as broad as Ghostbusters and the mythology they hint at in that
Oh,
first
Lord, I
movie?
am so regretful
Why are you? Why
that
would you?
I brought it up.
Why would you just recreate?
I know, that's
the
what I'm
story
saying.
from the
It was
first
just,
movie.
It was not. It was fine. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't. It didn't spark.
how many women did they cast in this movie to ruin it?
Yeah, the little girl and then her mom, and they're like main characters, guys. So yeah, they try to ruin it big time.
Women, stay away from
Movies.
genre movies. Stick to your rom-coms and stuff.
It's a man's world.
Anyway, but so that was a realization that I had when thinking I will probably watch and enjoy this, but I sure don't need it.
I like to think
Yeah.
you were playing with Ghostbusters toys when this occurred to you. That you had them all out on the floor.
in the
your-
bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh, those are good toys.
They were cool. The cartoon ones.
Yeah, the cartoon. Well, yeah,
The
those are
real Ghostbusters.
the real Ghostbusters.
They're proton packs. You turn the thing, and the little the lasers spun.
Yeah, I did also like the Nerf stuff. And one last thing, I will say the best way for them to expand the universe was the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And if they did a real Ghostbusters thing in a cartoon world, I think you can expand the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But as like a movie, you know what I mean?
If you want to keep these characters, because obviously everybody wants the original characters, seems to be the thing.
Yeah.
You have to go animated.
But don't make them all...
Or you have to recast.
Well, just don't do it, really. But the real Ghostbusters was a good expansion of that universe.
Yeah.
It was appropriate.
I feel the same way. It was no...
As far as like a universe expansion, I'm like real Ghostbusters, and then like right underneath it, Big Bang.
Big Bang. Yeah.
Because like real Ghostbusters is better.
Then the Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang.
The Big Bang.
The Big
don't
Bang.
know. I'm just-
It expanded.
The creation
I'm
of the
making a
universe?
An expansion joke. I got what you're doing.
Universe expansion.
I
Here's the
picked-
thing.
I
Every
picked it
time
up.
I
somebody
was
says
thinking
the
TV
Big
show.
Bang, I think of the TV show immediately.
Yeah.
I knew that was not what she meant because A, you're not really into it, and B, that joke wouldn't make any sense. So I knew what you meant. So
I'm sorry, I was just making a bunch of noise.
give me their points as well as my own.
Amy's form of comedy is not for everybody.
Let's just say that
You're so smart, Kelley.
Thank you.
there are many a listener right now going, girl, I got you. I knew what you were doing because I'm smart.
Yeah, some smart listener got it. Not me. I'm not a smart listener.
You're not a smart fella.
I'm a fart smeller.
I like my obvious comedy. Like, what's the deal with wives?
Pies in the face.
What is the
It's a
deal?
little too obvious, I guess.
I like pie. Dude, cream pies? Shit.
Yeah. High five.
Yeah.
I'm speaking a
So mad at you
wholesome, like a chocolate or
Oh, yeah, I
coconut
love it.
cream pie.
What are you Googling right now, pie?
Yeah, actually, I'm putting this on.
Oh,
This
okay.
looks like a pie.
He's Googling Kids in the Hall cream pie.
Just looking for kids.
He's Googling Robin
I-
Tooney rockin' tits.
Do you think Robin Tooney's kids?
Ghostbusters cosplay Robin Tooney tits.
Robin Tooney tits.
/ cream pie. Is there a subreddit for this?
All right, we're mixing up
Conversations
a lot of the Robin Tooney Rocket Tits
We're
conversations.
muddying the
from
timeline
Origins.
even more and
Yes.
hurrying. So we're speeding up the end times.
That's our
So-
little show that we do on Patreon. What were you saying, Andy?
Oh, no. I'm just trying to move on from this topic because I want to bring up... you know how I always say, like, hey, Cincinnati's in the news.
Yeah.
And I always like it. But unfortunately,
Oh, no.
we were in the news for the wrong reasons.
Was
Is
it
this
a
the thing
was
that-
it a Cov Calf thing? Because they pop up
No,
from
it was,
time
it
to
was
time.
it was the high school we all went to.
Yeah,
Oh.
Freddie was telling me about this the other
Oh
day.
no.
No.
it's bad too.
It's just
bad.
real gross. And people are shocked, but going to this certain high school, I'm not shocked.
I mean, there was
I am a little bit.
a lot of racism.
So what we're talking about is somebody defaced school property with racial slurs.
Oh, yeah, that did happen there. Okay, I thought I
Well,
mean that's by the way, I'm not trying to minimize the badness of that.
Right.
I just for a second I thought something like I thought there was like an attack upon a specific person or something like, but that's bad. That's terrible.
It's they put like whites and black only signs on the water fountains. They said they were up for about 30 seconds before the people who placed them took them down. But I'm like,
Oof.
But then they shared it. Like dumbasses.
They took pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, they
shared
took.
it.
Is that how they?
Yeah,
found
that's how
out?
they found out.
That's probably why they did it in the first place.
Yeah.
They probably
Yeah.
were doing
Just
like a
the
TikTok
fact-
thing.
Yeah.
that they have this in their hearts and their minds to do that joke. It's just real gross.
Or it
But
could,
then again, when I went to high school, there was a kid that rode the Confederate flag up and down the traffic parking lot. So
I remember that.
yuck.
And
I
that-
just feel like this area has gotten a lot more diverse over the last since I went to high school there.
It was pretty diverse, I thought.
yeah, it's been 30%.
So it feels weird that this would happen in that school just because you feel like these kids are around each other all the time. They have the opportunity to see who each other are, but here we are.
They're also kids. and
They
they're
live-
Well, there's
dumb.
But
there's a
then-
good chance they were edgelording, but I mean that's not an
Yeah.
excuse for it. And this is an opportunity to take kids who are hopefully just edgelording and trying to like, you know, be that person or whatever and get laughs that they think they're getting. It's a good opportunity to sit them down and explain why it's shitty.
Well, also it's a good opportunity to bring their parents in and try to figure out why they think
Gotta
that's okay to
originate
begin
with
with.
their fat, stupid fucking parents.
Hey, as a fat, stupid person, I
I'm
take
fat
offense
too.
to that.
I'm not stupid though.
Well,
and neither are you.
We're very. I don't know if you know this, but us fat, stupid people are pretty. We're the silent majority
Damn it.
because we don't feel like doing a lot.
I can make fat jokes now
Like
too, right?
speaking up.
Because I'm fat.
I think you're close to being
You're
allowed.
getting there.
You can't
You're
get fat
getting
just
there.
for the jokes, though.
Then
that what you're doing?
Then it's not okay.
Is that what you're doing, Andy?
I'm just trying to get in all the little.
Seinfeld.
I can make minority jokes. I can make gay jokes.
Are you trying to get the EGOT of joke making?
I can make fat jokes.
Fat jokes. What is left, Andy? We'll talk about it later.
I'm glad we talked about jokes.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better about what you just said to me as a fat person, a fat dumb person.
You're not.
Anyway, do better. High
better.
school
Well, I'm
I'm
trying to get fat, so I'm getting rid of my skinny privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah,
yeah.
You
don't want to.
I don't want to offend anybody out there.
It's fun to have one though, right?
Yeah,
One privilege.
One privilege, please.
I'd like 3 privileges, please. Is what I said.
would you like
to
a drink with
God.
that?
Also, the other night, just wanted to share with the listeners because I know that you have my back, but Freddie committed spousal abuse and made me watch Freddie Got Fingered.
Oh yes.
What?
It's dark time.
Here's
We
why.
had a long conversation about this before we started recording, so we don't
Yeah.
need to rehash. But
true.
just know that
It happened.
whatever Freddie's about to say right now, I do not co-sign.
I was just gonna say it came back on my radar because Dave. By the way, congratulations to Scarecrow Evan Dave.
Cover looks
Oregon.
great.
It's awesome, isn't it? He just did a
Venom.
recent the Venom cover,
Looks great.
which Jason got a copy for me, so I gotta get with him. But anyways, the point is, I told him I was proud of him, and he sent back this clip from Freddie Got Fingered where Rip Torn is just looking at Tom Green going proud, and then he bought him a LeBaron, and it ends with Tom Green like peeling out and yelling at the lady to get the fuck out of the way. And I laughed so hard. I was like, I remember hating that movie. Like, I don't think I had seen the whole thing ever. And we ended up watching it, and it feels like something I dreamed completely. It doesn't feel
It
like
was
a real
a
movie.
waste of energy and money.
No, it was a lot of laughter.
You paid for it?
No, we didn't pay for
No,
it.
somebody paid for it.
I may,
She's talking about the making
they
of it.
made it.
I might have to
you
put
paid
this on the
for it?
revisit because I don't remember anything. Well, we already had this conversation.
Yeah, we were talking
but,
about before. Like if you just want to laugh and not, and the thing is, you'll be just kind of.
I just watched
mortified.
Dude, Where's My Car? And
what did you
laughed
think?
my balls
Okay,
off.
then
So.
There's
This-
like 30 some odd years of AFV out there to watch.
This is funnier than Dude, Where's My Car?
I can't now.
I love that movie. Too.
I don't know if I'm gonna. Now I don't know if I can co-sign, but I don't know. I
The
literally
jo-
don't
well,
know.
It's like because the jokes in this if I just made a list, I wrote all this shit down on a piece of paper, you would read it and laugh. Because it's just this. It's like, why? What?
I'm gonna take this.
Why
I'm gonna
what?
take the Pepsi challenge here, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna come back and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, be honest.
do.
Now there are moments in this movie, like the scenes, they do these things with Drew Barrymore that don't work. They just don't work at all. Like
Like they try to make her really tall,
As opposed to all the other stuff that worked.
Well, if this is like a collection of those last sketches they do on SNL.
No more.
That might not make it. The ones, usually the final one in the show.
Did we talk about this on Origins?
No.
Oh, good.
We talked
Because I was
about
gonna
before
say
the
the people, the people who listen to both shows would be losing their fucking minds right now.
Oh no, we didn't. We talked. We were talking about this before we recorded.
Freddie did not give us a proper break between recordings.
I didn't.
And now
I made
our
everything
brains
confusing.
can't handle it.
But I was.
All right.
It's just those weird like a string of that sort of stuff. But it does have a story. Anywho, it's not important.
Well, I heard they're gonna reboot it for current audiences.
Yeah.
So if you want to, they're trying to reintroduce their kids to Freddy Got Fingered.
They're gonna do like they did with
I like a
Afterlife with Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
It's gonna be like this real touching.
Speaking of,
No pun intended.
Freddie got fingered.
Yeah. There's gonna be like holographic ghosts of Rip Torn in it.
Did anybody ever like?
Did he die?
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Did anybody ever use that to bully you? I mean, you would have been like 23 when
I
the
was.
movie came out.
I was in college. I
But
think,
nobody
or
was
even
ever
after that.
like, "Hey, you got fingered."
No, not
I feel like
since.
we made those jokes.
Well, when it came out, all my friends who
Yeah.
actually, my friends. Yeah, I got a lot of like, but I also lived with Freddy Krueger jokes.
True. So
A lot
you're
of that.
you're
Okay,
battle
well,
hardened.
question: in the movie, did he get fingered?
No,
The
he lied to the
implication
police.
was that
Spoiler alert.
he says his dad molested his brother,
It's so fucking dark, dude. It is so upsetting.
and so his brother ends up going to an orphanage.
He goes into it was a home for molested children, and the kids. He's the only adult.
ruin it for
It's
Kelley.
I'm not gonna spoil it. It's fucking. It is so goddamn dark. It is like
Nope.
dangerous.
Last point.
Is that the name
Yeah.
of the house they went to? Is actually called the Home for Molested Children?
Yeah.
Why
was
would
the
it be
home for
anything
molested
else?
children?
Well,
And they were like,
That's-
welcome. You guys, it's fucked up.
I'm
it's
already
so fucked.
psyched. I think I might like this movie.
I think you will, Kelly.
That's kind of funny. I mean, not molested children aren't funny.
All
but
right, you watch it. You watch it. You guys come back next week.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm
Get
gonna come back next week, but I will watch it.
In Living
whenever.
Color would be another example of maybe like some of the more dangerous things in Living Color did.
Oh yeah.
Would it help if I
Yeah.
got real high?
Yes.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's
Most
the only way
things.
to really watch movies
Yeah.
All right.
or TV.
Or
Let's
use a
move this
viewfinder.
bad boy
Or
It was
along.
fun. We
music.
used that gummy you guys gave me.
There you go.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
Since the dialogue in this trailer is not English,
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it looks really spooky.
well.
Not so much.
Give it to us straight.
I've heard good things about this.
The sadness.
Ever heard the wrong things?
So no. Well, all right. I'm gonna put out up front. I did not really like this movie.
Okay.
That is, but to qualify, I don't think it's a bad movie, and I think that there is a certain group of people who will really like this movie, and it is definitely well made. And so I'm actually struggling right now with how much to give away, JJ give away, because even to say a little bit what it's about is I'm just gonna I don't give a fuck. If you want to see this movie, go watch it no matter what. Well, sometimes I start like overthinking it, and then I'm like, why do I care? Why? I don't give a shit. You listen to my show. If I spoil it, so well, too bad. So,
Well, I might want to watch this.
oh, all right.
So should I just shut my ears?
Probably this sadness.
You love spoilers, Andy.
No, not all.
sometimes.
I like spoilers that I seek out, not unintentional ones.
Well, there's almost no way to not spoil
What's the general?
this kind of movie. It's a pandemic movie. All right, I'll describe this in in as vague of terms as possible.
When it's gonna be like your birds and the bees
We
speech.
can
you
send
had to give your
Andy out
kids.
in the other room.
It's a movie with killing.
And dying.
There's definitely blood.
Oh,
All right, so this movie is just it's relentless. It is like a gore movie.
The trailer itself actually really kind of shocked me a little bit. Like it not shocked me as in like offended me, but like it felt like those Mexican newspapers that used to show like dead bodies and stuff.
It is, for me anyway. For me, it's real gory and like it's over the top, but like so it is cartoonish to an extent, but
Elsa snoring.
it's still pretty like it is unsettling. Like for sure this movie is unsettling, sort of. But then there's a thing. So this movie does not really give you characters too much. There are two main characters, and there are like people in it who you follow.
it's just they don't give
It's
you
like
characters,
you don't
but
have
there
to
are
explain
two
what a movie
people.
is.
No, I mean there are
You went too vague.
there are characters, quote unquote, in that there are people that you recognize from previous scenes, and they're in later scenes.
Is it mostly
Yeah,
a
gotcha.
showcase for the gore?
Yeah, it's all a showcase.
Are they just constantly moving and doing?
Yes, it is.
So you don't really get any character development because there's no time.
There's zero development, and it's kind of pointless. Like, but again, I'm not saying it's not worth watching, because if you are into relentless, it's very feels like an old timey exploitation movie a little bit. It's definitely got that vibe, and it is like, again, the violence is like, holy shit. Like there are a lot of moments where I was like, holy shit. And there is one scene in this movie, which is funny. It's the one thing you don't actually see, but you know what's happening and you're like kind of close to it without seeing it. And it was one of the like grossest, sort of most upsetting things, like ideas or moments in a movie, I think, that I would say it's up there for me. Wow. I can't think of too many other scenes that I would be like, ugh, as much as this. It's pretty fucking horrific. But then when you get to the end and you realize, oh, there's no more time for them to make these into people, like real people.
Gotcha.
I kind of don't care now, because it's like, oh, what was the fucking point of that? Like, I don't care about somebody having something horrific happen to them. I mean, I do, but like, if I care about them or I know their name, you do, I think, know some of their names, but like, it's like, they kind of like the people are like really, like you said, they're just a vehicle for other people to
just to run into and see them die.
Violence upon and it also steals from a certain kind of movie, not steals, but it is every trope from a certain kind of movie. You're going to see it.
Pizza delivery guys, plumbers, housewives that can't pay.
Basically.
I know.
Basically. Mustaches.
Yeah, big greasy mustaches.
Wah-wah
tiny
guitar.
little shorts.
Yeah.
So horrifically gory porn.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it is definitely gore porn, and
I call it gorn.
oh, I love the gorn.
The gorn.
I love the gorn. I wish they would have used them more.
I know.
Maybe they'll bring them back for Strange New Worlds.
They might.
I don't think they've used the gorn ever again.
Well, they hint at it. Didn't the Gorn turn up on Lower Decks?
I think somebody had a little
they had the
toy.
they had
Had
a
a
toy.
Gorn toy.
Well, anyway.
And he didn't even know he just stepped into a Star Trek.
I know.
He's like, oh shit, there's Star Trek on
I
my
just like
shoe. I
combining
didn't even
words.
notice.
Gorn is one of my favorite.
What's
and
a gorn?
It's a lizard person.
That Kirk notoriously fought in a very
it's like,
hilarious.
the Rip Shirt episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Their ships are in the Starfleet Battles paper war game.
Oh.
But anyway, so like and again, especially if you're a fan of the certain kind of genre movie like I am, that this is, you are going to see, and it's cool. There are homages, and they're strung together.
To say what that is to spoil.
I mean, yes and no. Like, I guess, let me ask you this. If I told you that End of Days was like a devil movie, would that spoil for you? No. This is like a zombie movie.
Okay. Well, yeah, I kind of got that from the trailer.
Yeah, I think I understood that from the
Okay. Well, then it is like a zombie movie, but only kind of. It's not zombies. But it's a lot of 28 Days Later. It's The Crazies. It's World War Z, the movie. It's Dawn of the Dead remake. It's a lot of Romero feel. So like there are good things. Like I said, I wanted to like this movie, and going into it, like the first 10 minutes, maybe even the first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, holy shit. Because a lot of stuff happens and it is crazy. But then in that part where you're supposed to care about people and like be invested in them, in their plight amongst this, they kind of like sort of, I think they think that just showing you two people who are like normal, who are supposed to be your stand-ins, and like putting them in danger, it's sort of like, and maybe that is enough for this kind of movie. It is really just a race through a zombie movie that is a bunch of other zombie movies. Specifically, like there were things where I was like, oh, that is from this. That is that. This is this. Oh, look, they did that thing from this. And like I said, it's fine, but it looks good.
Is the gore well done?
Yeah. Some of it's sometimes it's weird when like sometimes they choose to go goofy. There are like 2 or 3 places where they choose to go like goofy, and then you're like, oh, that was like a cartoony effect. And then there are other places where it seems pretty real-ish. Again, you would never like turn this on and think you're seeing something real. You know what I mean? The gore is not.
Right.
So it sounds to me like these are people that very much love those movies that you just talked about, and they wanted to make something like that, neglecting the giving you someone or something to care about.
Yes, exactly.
Do you think part of that could be, it's in Korean? Is that correct?
It's Taiwanese.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you asking if something was lost sort of in translation?
I'm wondering like if anything was lost in translation, or if they were just aping what Romero did in Night of the Living Dead.
Well, I mean, there was a point where I actually did stop reading the subtitles, like other than a little bit, because again, it didn't really matter. You didn't really get any of the story until almost the end, when they kind of like, there's a character that kind of just dumps a bunch of exposition on you about 10 minutes before the end of the movie, and also gives you like what I guess would be what you were hoping happened. And then it's just,
did they even have like internal conflict between the human characters? Or like, because I think that's might be what's missing there, like why it might work in Night of the Living Dead, where the same thing is you just throw people right into a situation.
Those are characters.
But because they have all these fights amongst themselves and stuff to develop that. This didn't have like, it was basically everybody's on the same page versus everything else.
I mean, again, I don't know that this is a huge spoiler since I've said all this. There's really only 2 people that you're following.
Okay.
And they're not together through most of the movie.
All right.
So it sounds like there's no room, because the other movies you mentioned, they had room to breathe. Like there was breaks in between the horror, but it sounds like there was just constant.
Almost,
horror.
yeah. You were always waiting for the next group of infected to do their thing, and there really isn't a lot of breathing time in the beginning when it's spooky, because the beginning is spooky, and there's a lot of stuff. I really feel like they were trying to say something about probably both the U.S. and China. They were, I think, criticizing both of those countries, criticizing, but just talking about how we handled the pandemic. There's a lot about.
Oh, this was written after the pandemic?
I think so, because I mean, it feel like they talk about how like these shouldn't be like the reason that it didn't get dealt with quicker is because it was politicized and people weren't getting the right information, and people
that's creepy to hear that in like this kind of story, because you're like, oh, that does happen.
Well, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for a new crop of really hopefully good zombie movies.
Because right now on Reddit, it's a very popular thing is to see like videos of how they're handling the pandemic in Shanghai right now.
Yeah,
and that's a whole another horror movie right there.
Yeah. Being like stuck in your house with no access to food.
Not to toot my own horn, but in my zombie EP that I'm putting out, I use some pandemic inspired parallels because it is ripe for that. But this just did. So there are a lot of good elements, but like, again, like kind of what you said, nothing, you're never allowed to like take anything in other than like, it's almost like the story to them doesn't matter. None of that shit is kind of important. Like they just want you to see, they want you to be scared of, it's almost like your two characters are video game characters almost, that you are in like a Left 4 Dead style situation. And, except not even really, there's not even as much story as there is in that. It's just really just go, crazy gore. Now, again, some of it is, it's can be shocking almost. There's probably people out there like, that wasn't shocking, you're such a bitch, Kelley. But for me, it was like, holy balls, that is like yikes. And definitely
don't call my friend Kelley a bitch.
Please don't call me a bitch or anything. Just
don't yell at hypothetical people.
Just agree that I'm good. And
do what I want.
Yeah, it's your show. But yeah,
so would you recommend it
to people who really are just, and I feel like there's a certain group of people right now who are like, oh, that sounds fun. Maybe. I don't think it was fun at all. I didn't have any fun with this. In the beginning, it was spooky. The violence was definitely unsettling, and I was definitely on the edge of my. I wasn't really bored until afterwards, and then I thought about it.
Well, how was your date with Bachelor number 3?
Until after you watched it.
Well, we went to wine and painting. Anyway.
Was the violence better with Bachelor 2?
It was a little weaker.
Weaker violence.
So, I mean, it's a recommend for people who just fucking want to see some crazy fucking shit go down, but who don't really care if there's a lot to it. It is, I mean, again, it is a well done thing for what it is, but it didn't do it for me.
I feel like it would play well to like a festival crowd. Like
this would be great at a festival. Yeah. I will tell you this: if I was in a crowd at a Horror Hound and I saw this, like in that moment, I would probably be into it. And then when I went back later to revisit it and sit down and watch it as a movie, then I would probably have been like, I would have felt like I feel now.
All right then.
So anyway, yeah, it's not a recommend. But it's just
not for you.
It's not a Kelley Kombrinck kind of joint.
It was
like almost a Kelley Kombrinck kind of joint. Like I said, I love zombies, and I know I saw somebody actually talk about this on Instagram. Somebody on my Instagram was like, "It's not a zombie movie." So that was you. I saw your Instagram post.
Saw you.
But and that's technically correct. But I mean, come on, it's a zombie movie. I know some people really like to fucking whittle those genres into like, like really finely, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a zombie movie. Come on.
Is that the spoiler you're trying to pussyfoot around?
That it was a zombie movie?
Yeah.
Oh, there were others, but that was one of them. Okay. I didn't want to like, I felt like if that was...
I felt like you were like one of the characters from Labyrinth that Jennifer Connelly has to talk to.
Well, the kind of movie that it is, if you've seen it, you'll know.
I just was like, when can I find my baby brother and get out of here?
Forget about the baby.
All right.
Well, you tell me what's the movie, and then I'll have Kelley spin the wheel.
Is on Hulu. It's called Lanterns Lane.
Oh.
A recent college graduate and her estranged high school friends return to Lanterns Lane, the location of an evil urban legend, and must fight to survive the night.
Did you say Keith Urban legend?
Yeah.
All right, pass me this wheel. Oh my God.
What's his deal?
It's so heavy.
Keith Urban.
It's a heavy wheel.
Who is he?
He's married to Nicole Kidman.
That's all I know him
He's
from.
a country singer.
He's Australian.
Yeah. I don't know.
But like, what's his deal?
He's got highlights.
Yeah, well, I get it.
Chunky ones at that.
When they talk about the urban market.
That's Freddie.
Oh, okay. So what was it called again?
Lanterns Lane.
Lanterns Lane?
Wouldn't it be great if like you could somehow record this conversation and listen to it back later?
I don't want to do that.
If you needed to reference
That sounds like a lot of work.
All right.
So, yeah. We're going to be right back.
Yeah, boy.
Ladies. My name is Odd Thomas. Or Elvis. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not the child of a celebrity. I've never been married to, abused by, or provided a kidney to a celebrity. But I do lead an unusual life. Knock, knock.
Loop me in, odd one.
This place looks like some kind of shrine.
Did you check the refrigerator for any severed heads?
That is Stormy Llewellyn. Stormy and I are destined to be together forever.
That must be for you.
I found a gateway to hell.
Get out of there, Audie.
Been communing with the dead?
It's not about who's dead, sir. It's about who soon might be.
You have a secret. You're either a clairvoyant, a psychic, or you got yourself some juice with a higher power.
I'm here looking for a guy. A creepy guy.
Any of those Bodax things around?
Bodax. When they do show up, it's a sure sign that carnage and bloodshed are not far behind. If they find out you can see them, they will kill you.
I'm just so scared for you, Audie.
A lot of people died in that dream of yours, huh, Odd?
Yeah, they did.
Your dreams ever come true?
This town is in serious trouble.
So, this is a pleasant surprise for me. I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did.
Yeah. I got to go full disclosure. I fell asleep multiple times during this, but I did see it once before and review it on this very program.
You did? It was a roulette
it was a
movie.
roulette.
Yeah.
So this didn't get a theatrical release.
No.
No.
What question? What source material did Dean Koontz rip off for this?
Well, I can tell you the relationship is definitely MJ and Peter Parker.
Yeah, I think he wrote the book that this was based on.
He wrote the book it was based on, but you know, regular people that can see dead people and help them solve crimes is kind of
again
a thing.
as I've pointed out every episode of this month. Dean Koontz rips off everything you already like,
and he
then
admits
does it a little bit less good.
Like in this case, he's taking the Sixth Sense because there's a line in there. Even he says, "I see dead people, but I do something about it."
Yeah, I kind of hate when movies do. There's so many movies that think they're like, we're gonna do this, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna show you that we know what we're doing. It's like, oh, that is so bad. You should have not done that and not done that and just pretended like you didn't know.
Now, specifically in terms of Stephen King, did he rip anything off from him?
Everything.
No, like in terms of Odd Thomas.
No.
I think the concept really these themes though, like the Bodax, are basically ring wraiths.
They are, and which again, I believe I'd have to listen to my review to know for sure. But I feel like I hate that word. It just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Bodak.
It's like
it's a weird word.
It's like, how is that spelled? I know how it's spelled because I looked at it.
I'm sure there was some explanation in the book that
maybe
made sense, but none of us have read it.
Or it's just a goofy word that he came up with, like a fantasy. It's just a bad, like when you're doing fantasy, I get it. You come up with weird words. Sometimes they're great. Mordor. Sometimes they suck. Bodak. It's okay.
I see. I don't hate the word. I feel like it sounds kind of vaguely Eastern European and old.
I'm not taking that away from you.
You too. You give it back.
Andy has a much more current reference. He's just thinking of the Cardi B song.
Yeah, Bodak Yellow.
Bodak Horseman.
But I don't know where. She's a secret Dean Koontz fan.
That's what it is.
That's my theory, at least.
That's what it is.
Fancies. What do Koontz fans have names?
So where did we all land on this? I was thoroughly charmed. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I liked it because of Anton Yelchin.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He is the reason I like this movie. Otherwise, I felt it was trying too hard to be quirky. It felt dated to me. Like, it is of the era of like the Joss Whedon, Diablo Cody type of writing.
It's 2013, yeah.
Yeah,
when it came out.
And I used to really like that stuff. I used to be a big Buffy fan, but it's just not for me anymore.
Right.
Just that really forced. I'm not like other girls. I'm not like other guys type thing.
I'm with Andy on this big time. I really wanted to like it. Again, I liked it, I think, less what I was awake for than I was the last time. But I will say, it was like almost, for me, like I could see where there was like I really liked Anton Yelchin. Man, that was it
was heartbreaking.
That really was,
really got me, actually.
He was becoming one of those actors that I would see something just because he was in it. There are very few of those, but he was becoming one of those, and so he was really good in this. I thought
he carried it on his back.
He really did, and he pulled off a lot of just dreadful dialogue. And he made you like him. Like he's just very likable. Whatever he's in, he's just very, very likable. And I like the vision, like the style. Well, first of all, the Bodaks I thought looked terrible, just terrible CGI. But I do like the look of it. But then there, like you said, like Andy said, there's a lot of like it's straddling this line where it's like, is this a comic book horror movie? Is this?
Yeah.
Is this what is this? And it just felt like very a muddled tone, and it couldn't quite figure out what
disagree.
it wanted to be.
I thought like the resolution of that they're Satanists in town.
That kind of came out of nowhere.
I thought that was like, what the fuck? Like I thought that my problems with the movie are with the story. And it comes down to every fucking Dean Koontz movie. I'm like, I like the performances. The director did a good job, but this story.
And I'll agree with a lot of that. And I do think too, it's got a lot of that, like you said, like, gee, golly, Willikers.
That stuff worked for me.
Oh, I hate that.
And what I liked, to me, this felt like reading an old Spider-Man comic book to me.
He's so Spider-Man-y, and I know that
Peter
he's
Parker.
like he's wearing Peter Parker clothes, and he's got curly hair.
Yeah,
to me, it's very blatantly a tribute to that relationship with Mary Jane and Peter Parker.
Well, it's definitely inspired by that for sure. I just but it's not Spider-Man. That's the thing. See, in old Spider-Man comics, I like that. When I say that I hate that, I mean in this movie. I know what you say. It works for me where it works, and that's
you felt the G. Willikers was out of place.
It was like, because sometimes it's not that, and then sometimes it is, and it's like, and then some characters have goofy names, and then some characters are just like, I'm Bob. I don't mean Fungus Bob either. I just mean like, it's just, it's like half the world is like a zany cartoon, and then half the world is the real world, and maybe you could argue that that's kind of the world, how he lives because of his ability, but like, it didn't work for me, dog.
Too pitchy.
A little too pitchy.
I did like the mystery aspect of it, him trying to figure out.
Yeah, and the gumshoe voiceover was fun.
I like that type of stuff, but like how you said, like the Bodaks look awful.
It was certainly clunky.
I mean, and that didn't help because we're supposed to be scared of them, and they were supposed to be this portent of doom. But when they look so cheap and just poorly done, it doesn't.
Well, it's the Koontz limitation, man.
It's the Koontz. It's the limitation of the Koontz.
You need a Koontz limiter on this thing.
That's right.
It's what Koontz all over the place.
A limiter gate.
What I thought was both incredibly sad to think that this movie was 9 years ago. And it's basically a story about preventing a mass shooting in a public space.
Yeah.
To now, today, on the heels of, what did we have, 3 that day of the Buffalo shooting?
Yeah.
Total. in this country. It's creepy. I don't like that this is still an ongoing saga. Probably forever will be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was
as I have to say,
upsetting.
as shooters, they didn't do a good job.
No, they were terrible.
They just shot in the air.
It was taking like the very
and then
real.
A bomb? Come on.
Yeah. Well, it was taking like the real. I think part of that, and I'm trying to remember if we were having then the level of mass shooting activity we have now. We weren't, right?
It wasn't covered. I mean, it was not
imagine.
as
It wasn't
saturated.
almost
So I think
I
that
don't
makes
think it was a desensitized
do you
level
think,
yet.
Yeah, but do you think the movie feels a little darker in those moments than it may have felt when it was released?
Maybe.
And that's
Maybe
the
it's
thing.
darker now,
Yeah.
and that's why I was like
The tone
confused.
might be feel off just because our perception is different.
I don't know.
I didn't like the tone. Well, I feel like that's how I felt the first time I saw it. Like I felt like it was just. It was like pick a lane, man. Like quirky or like or not. Like
The time bomb was pretty hilarious.
it was cute.
And like I was like, this movie has a literal time bomb in it. Sometimes that's enough for me.
That's fine. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
It was all how much I love Anton Yelchin and how much he and Willem Dafoe like really playing well together.
Yeah, I rooted for. Like I said, there are things I like.
He was in a Spider-Man movie too.
Yeah, when he was.
There's your 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
I like that character too. The Willem Dafoe character is a mashup of like Uncle Ben and Commissioner Gordon, which is like this is very much wears its inspirations on its sleeve. I think like it is literally plucked from every superhero comic. Like it's his favorite pieces. I think.
Yeah.
And smushed them together and set it in a town that's very similar to the town from Back to the Future.
Right.
But it's like. Cozy.
But it's clumsy to me. Is the thing.
It is clumsy. Like somebody could take this, and actually, Stephen Sommers was somebody I would actually probably have picked. You know, who did it? Ultimately did it. You want to take a sip of that?
Oh, it's just because I hit that vapio there. But
Well, I feel he's better at just big spectacle than character development and stuff like that.
Well,
and I wanted more of the character of Odd Thomas as opposed to, because I like what he did with the Mummy and stuff like that, his big action movies.
And those did have character. Like that tone was perfect. And I do like the direction, like the directing in this. I think most of the problem is the writing and the effects. But like I do think Stephen Sommers, I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Like, he did have characters, but mostly of that with the Mummy, that's more about the spectacle.
Exactly.
And I feel like this Odd Thomas should have been a balance, like should be more about the character than the actual whatever the big bad is.
I think I might have been bored if that was the case. And I mean, like honestly, like I do think for me that the tone worked up. Except the mass shooting part did feel too dark. Like, but I think that might be context for me, maybe. But like, it felt like it really smacked of like 66 Batman, Spider-Man comics. Like, and it had that kind of zippy kind of vibe to it, even when he was dealing with Fungus Bob, which to me was a very memorable, goofy name for a character. And to have him be part of this secret satanic cult that's in this town where everybody grew up together anyway. And they're like, no, but we've got fucking Satanists hiding in plain sight.
I think you could have taken the elements of this story, given it to someone who is better.
Like Hot Fuzz is a better version of this.
Yeah,
in a lot of
you
respects.
could, for sure. And add I just think they like they divided their forces and they were fighting a war on two fronts. And they were like, we're going to be like a quirky, like big Ghostbusters-y kind of like bright colors, big Hollywood film feel with ghosts and monsters. But then they kind of dialed like the ghosts and monsters back a lot. I mean, they're in there, but then it's mostly just people. And,
did it remind you of the Frighteners at all?
Yeah. Well, now that you say it, it does. Which was another movie that was.
I haven't thought about that in a while.
That was super uneven too. I like it, but it is like watching the Frighteners to me. Like I can see the fuck ups. You know what I mean?
I feel this has that same vibe.
You could see the fuck ups.
It's
too.
a very flawed, but like it's also it's memorable.
Yeah, no,
in a way that like
absolutely.
a lot of the movies that I think we end up watching are not. Like I could not recollect much of that happened. Like when we just covered Phantoms. Like to me, that's not very memorable.
No,
and I just watched it. You know,
no, and I'll agree. Like I said, I want to like this movie. I don't dislike it. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I definitely would say, you know, it's fine. It's
derivative.
It's very fine.
It's big twists. You can kind of see a mile come away. Like it wasn't really
Well, it's
doing
because
good.
it's cribbed from so many other movies.
Right.
That's why
I
you can
gasped
saw.
when Willem Dafoe got shot. I gasped.
You did, but he was fine.
I was like, no. That's what I did.
It was like Psycho all over.
Yeah, I love Willem
believe it.
Dafoe. I
He's
hate
great.
it when bad things happen. Willem Dafoe. That's a bad day for me.
Don't watch Antichrist.
Do you ever see that meme where it's like him scowling and it says Willem Dafoe and there's a picture next to it and he's smiling and it says Willem Defriend?
That's awesome.
Adorable.
I think it's really cute. I just wonder how I feel about this movie if Anton Yelchin wasn't in it.
If
we
he
had
wasn't
that
in it, this would be.
conversation.
I do not think I'd like it at all.
Like
He sparkled.
Like that's
Yeah.
the,
He did.
I mean, like, that's the
one
best-
of the only. Like Willem Dafoe was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But other than that, and Anton Yelchin,
yeah.
I don't think I would. It would.
Oh,
Tolerable,
He,
'cause-
he's what makes it 100%.
I feel like the Stormy, you know, that plays
Addison Timlin.
yeah, she
Is she somebody? Do you?
She's
because
been
you
in
know her name, you
shows.
just threw it out like you knew her.
Well, it's one of those names like Amber Tamblyn,
Oh.
Addison Timlin. I get there's a bunch of
She's a
actors.
poor man's Amber Tamblyn.
The
Timmy
names all
Two-Tone.
sound familiar to me. There's another one too. Who is Rory Gilmore? What's that lady's name? Her name might not be anything like that, but I feel like that's it. I just get like I know the names.
Oh, it's Velma Tim Tom.
Yeah, that's
Tim
it.
Tams?
That's her name for real?
No.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, Addison Timlin, I think.
I found her. The performance was almost there,
Almost there. I felt like this whole movie was
Almost
kind of
there.
almost there.
but they like then made up for it by weird. They're very sexualizing shots, lingering shots on her ass when she's just wearing underwear, on her ass when she's just wearing shorts, on her
Just on her
midriff
ass.
area when she's just wearing. You know what I mean? Like they were noticeable moments where I'm like, you're lingering here, weird.
It's
This
dated.
is not part of. It's dated.
It is
It's
in
dated,
that
yeah.
respect. It's super dated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
She had a great ass. Don't get
she
me wrong.
does. She does. Did.
However-
I don't know her personally, but
Rest in peace.
Could be
Her ass
down on the floor.
Kelly said she did.
in this movie,
She's still fine.
I mean, this is actually the only thing I know of for sure that I've seen her in. But
She's alive.
yeah, I know.
Odd Thomas.
Odd Thomas, and his name was Odd.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was Tom.
That felt just forced to me too.
and he was
Yeah.
odd. Like you going into it, that's what I thought. And then they kept calling him Oddie, and I was like, "Oh, his first name
His name is Adi Oddborn.
is Odd." Well, if it was, I would have liked it
It's his middle name.
a smidge better.
Adi Oddborn Thomas. So you can't even say that without you creating a speech impediment.
No.
How is Ozzy? He had COVID recently.
Well, I haven't heard anything,
Seems to be
so
fine.
he must still be, crawling around looking for
Something just happened with his oldest daughter.
Kelly?
she got pregnant.
Oh, the
Not
other
Kelly,
one.
the other one.
She's
The one that wasn't on the
She
show.
was
was
on the show.
at a studio that caught on fire.
That's right. She was there.
recently?
Yeah, like within the past couple of
okay.
days.
Did she start it?
But she's not. The people did. A guy did die, and well, it's a bummer. I won't get into the rest of it.
But speaking
Adi
of bummers,
Oddborn.
at the end of this movie, I started sobbing. Actually,
It was very emotional.
yeah, just because like the line of like he's saying, "I've a lot to do. It's going to be a while till I see you again."
Yeah.
And it just suggests that this character is going to live for a while and do great things, and the fact that Anton Yelchin he did great
Right.
things, but never had.
It's so tragic
Yeah,
too.
it's-
Yeah,
so
man.
sad.
Jesus, that was.
the whole thing is just awful.
Like
Awful.
It reminded me of did you guys ever see that Chadwick Boseman's last movie, forgot the name of it already, but I watched it on Netflix. And there's a speech he gives in that movie, and just kind of like a portent of what's to come, and it just broke my heart. It just reminded me.
that was that's real
like
sad,
Odd Thomas. So
what a weird movie to be reminded of.
I would have loved this. To me, it would have been ripe for a series.
A fun series.
Yeah.
Of him, solving people's deaths every week.
Taken away from Dean Koontz, a producer credit and money certainly, and then put into the hands of an up and coming team of writers who are like, we want to make our mark on supernatural, PG-13 TV, and we're gonna take it like what they did with Buffy.
Yeah.
To the limit.
And they fix it. And then they spread it out over 6 seasons.
It kind of left on a cliffhanger. Like he was like,
I think they fully intended to make more. I think this was intended to go in the theaters and it would be a franchise.
Because
they became a graphic novel series too.
At the end, he's like walking up to Vegas, and
which is what makes more sense. It makes much more sense as a comic book.
Oh, I haven't read any, but it's a great concept.
In reading the novel now, actually. I never was before. I didn't really know much other than it's a guy that sees dead people, and I was like, whatever. But seeing this movie actually made me intrigued.
A lot of people have told me they think Odd Thomas is his best writing, the book.
There's multiple, but the first
one, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of gaps in my Koontz. My Koontz
the gap.
Full of gaps.
Because it's been used and abused.
Was it Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
That's it, yeah.
Wow, guys.
That was the movie that Chadwick Boseman was in that Andy was talking about.
Yes.
And I just kind of spit that out, and I was maybe confusing.
It was for me for a moment.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I have gaps in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I have gaps. There's gaps in my Koontz too.
But thank you, Paul, for the pick.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I thought it was a very charming little movie with problems, obviously.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad.
I liked it, but I didn't.
I put it up there with the Frighteners for sure.
Extent of you guys liking it.
I would definitely agree that it is very Frighteners-y. That one I might like a little better. I do feel the tone is a little more consistent.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Frighteners in a while.
But it is also, it's clunky. The Frighteners is very clunky, a little overlong.
But that is also another movie that's elevated by the performance of the lead.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox, baby.
Yeah.
Jake Busey was pretty great in it.
If you're going to watch one kind of fun, quirky horror movie with Anton Yelchin in it, watch Fright
Night. Absolutely. Really good.
You guys saw his gravesite at the Hollywood Forever?
It's really awesome too.
It's amazing. I stood in front of it.
There's a statue, right?
Yeah.
Does it look like him, or is it?
I'll show you pictures. Yeah, as much as it could.
Joey Ramone was pretty awesome too. That statue.
Any hoozles.
Yeah.
We did it, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
We
finished.
We Koontzed.
Remember when at the beginning you guys, how would we fill up a whole month of Koontz, you guys said? And I said, we'll find a way to fill it.
We filled it. We filled that hole full of Koontz.
Wonderful. So, Freddie, do you want to tease your Topicana?
Oh, yeah. My posit to you is what common saying is bullshit. Or it could be like a kind of like generic advice people give, something like in that vein.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know what mine is. I knew what it was almost as soon as I saw this question, which I stole from Reddit, like most of them. Yeah.
I am excited to give this a lot of thought this evening because I have heard so much stupid advice.
You gonna run a hot bath?
I'm gonna run a hot bath. I'm gonna light. I've got some nice scented candles.
Yeah.
And sounds really relaxing.
I'm gonna put on
the latest Koontz audiobook.
The latest Koontz audiobook. I can't wait. I don't even know what it is.
The Topicanas are available over on our Patreon.
Yes, they sure are. And I want to promote myself for a moment.
Yes, please do.
Because I have a forum and you have to listen to me unless you press pause or stop or you skip forward. But anyway, I just put out a new, the Obliging Victims just put out a new single. It's 2 songs because I'm always going to do probably 2 songs because what's the point of just doing one? I'm not. I mean, there's plenty of good singles, one-offs. Why am I doing this? Anyway, so it's called Alise. It's got 2 songs on it. They're both about my beautiful wife. One of them, the first one, which is she is the titular Alise, the titacular. She puts
the tits and titular.
She sure does. And she
are they rocking?
Are they rocking?
I like this picture of you on Apple Music.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't that nice?
That's my friend Kelley.
I love it.
It's like a ghost from Ghostbusters.
They're definitely rocking. That's plain to see. Anyone can see that. But it's a very special song. It was sort of the first. She inspired me to kind of. It was the first one I'd written in a very long time at the point that I wrote it, and so it's pretty groovy. They're one's they're psychedelic-y and groovy. And they're fun, and you can find them everywhere. And on my Bandcamp, which is The Obliging Victims. I wanted to say, I found out that there's a little radio station. Maybe it's a web radio station, but it does have it gets broadcast. They picked up the song Alise and are playing it. They were playing it. It's called Sunday Sounds, I think. Sunday Sounds, and I don't know if they just found it, but if one of you lovely people, because they take submissions also, so if one of our Australian listeners submitted that for me, thank you.
That's so cool, man.
It's really cool.
I appreciate that.
So should people look up The Obliging Victims or Kelley Kombrinck?
Look up The Obliging Victims, or both. I mean, certainly look me up because I'm interesting, but if you're looking for the music, it's The Obliging Victims, and it's all Spotify. It's basically everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, they're really good songs too.
You want to be?
Thank you. It's everywhere you want to be, everywhere.
Everywhere.
All the time.
And Freddie, do you want to plug your shit?
Oh, yeah.
Plug my shit.
Plug your shit.
Oh, yeah. I have a new single out as well called the Cowpoke Trilogy. Yes. Or you can just put Cowpoke Trilogy into Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. I do have
Put it into your calculator.
Just put it in, man. Slip it in. I have a music video I made, which is just the story.
It tells a great story.
Thank you.
It really does. I was invested.
The story came out of the music. Like it was originally, I was writing a song that was supposed to be kind of like a tribute to the love songs they would play at the end of those weird sci-fi romantic comedy movies that they had in the 80s. And there would be that song like Electric Dreams is a good example of that. I started out writing something like that, and then I'm like, wait, no, this should be instrumental. And then the story kind of came out about these aliens that very much the bizarro Mac and Me kind of body types who come to Earth trying to save their planet from famine. And it's the 3 movements. It's like a little mini symphony. It's like 8 minutes long, but it's on YouTube.
Well,
if you want to see the video,
tell them how to find it on YouTube because it's kind of you type in Freddie Morris and it doesn't really come up.
Yeah, you're better off. Like my YouTube is youtube.com/DragonAssJones because that's my old band. It's DraggingAssJones, and I'm trying to figure out how to change that. But if you just search Freddie Morris
or
with a Y,
is it Cowpoke Trilogy?
Cowpoke Trilogy is. I doubt there's anything else called Cowpoke Trilogy.
Oh, be careful.
I don't know. There could be.
Honey.
Rule 34?
Sweet summer child.
It's Rule 34.
And don't forget, like and subscribe his...
Andy, thank you for...
No, it's about social media. You gotta get outreach. Like and
Yeah.
subscribe. Hi, guys.
Smash that like button.
I'm on TikTok. Freddie Morris 7, I think.
7.
He's the 7th of
Pretty sure
of
that's
his
my
name.
He does all the dances.
I do songs.
The challenges.
I do songs. I perform songs, and things are getting very, very good sounding. I've got a new rig set up.
At the end of every show, we always say hello to our Beelzebubs. Someone go down this list. Y'all ready for this?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Alise.
Hi.
Baby.
The titular.
The titular Alise?
The titular Alise.
The rockin' titular Alise?
The rockin' titular Alise.
Lynn Walsh.
Yeah. Hey.
Where did she come from?
A land down under. And also, thank your country folk for me. If you could just, when you go outside, just start thanking people for me.
Knock on doors.
My fellow Australians.
You don't have to knock on doors, but if just when you run into people in the grocery or wherever you go.
It's a big country. She doesn't knock on a lot of doors.
Well, she doesn't have to greet everyone
hot
in the
down
country.
there,
Just
too.
who you see.
All right. Alyssa.
What up?
Branan and Emily.
You guys.
Jeffo.
Jeff.
Dustin.
And
Ace.
And
them pussies.
There you go. Iona Goodwin.
Ace and Dem Pussies. That's my favorite doo-wop band.
Ace and them pussies.
Iona Goodwin.
I own a great one.
Doc Bryan.
Oh, it's the first time I've done it.
Doc Bryan.
Marty. Yeah, we do all these every week.
I think that's the first time we did. Doc
Bryan is the first time I think because I don't recall you ever saying it that way. You're like, Doc Bryan.
Bill.
We did it last week.
Bill.
Oh, it's pretty heavy.
Bill,
You're
can
right.
you believe this shit,
'Cause I
Bill?
said that.
That's Bill Chandler.
Hi, Bill.
Bill was just a dream within a dream.
And then there's Bill Farner.
Bill's from way up north.
He is one from a farmer.
Blake.
Just one letter away.
Blake is way down south.
Andy.
I thought that was going to be silent.
Even further south.
I
than
apologize,
the farts. It
Blockhead.
wasn't.
I did not mean to fart on your name.
Mark
if he can do it every week
slipped
now.
on a waxed floor in sneakers for a second.
Yeah, it sounded like you're playing basketball.
I was just trying to acknowledge you for
Hi,
5
Mark.
seconds.
Mark.
We love you. Don't take this personally that Andy farted.
Blayne.
Blayne, the smell from Andy's fart has come down to the list point that you're at.
What?
Like he farted
It's
2
a
names
gesture of
ago.
endearment.
Oh,
It's like if there's a ladder and then it's just like.
Then we got our friend Joe, Jordache Jeans.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Indubitably.
Paul, who picked this week's movie. I hope we did it justice.
I hope we did.
He did say it was his favorite movie ever, and that if we didn't like it, he was going to harm himself in some way.
Paul.
We didn't shit on it.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think he had any attachment to this movie other than it being correct for the theme.
Dean Koontz.
Jeremy and Cassie and Gamora.
Oh, you guys. Was thinking about you today.
Ernie.
And thank you. You just followed me on Instagram. I hope that's you and not a bot that has stolen your face.
Peeled Ernie's skin off.
Oh my God.
Well, or that, especially that.
Ironically, he worked on that little short skin.
I know.
Dave Siebert.
And now something else is wearing his. Dave TV. Dave TV.
Michael Burns.
Michael Burns.
And Michael freezes.
And finally, Monica.
Hey, girl.
It burns when I Michael.
But not when I'm Monica.
Alyssa sent me pictures of turkeys. In her
Okay.
yard.
All right, girl. She's got turkeys.
They're
All right,
frozen.
so thanks for a great Koontz month.
Yeah,
Yes.
yay.
Next week, we'll just do the usual debris.
We're gonna do just a brief.
We're going to debrief.
We're gonna lazy it up next week. Get ready.
I love it.
Fill my
Bye.
Koontz with her gladness.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on